This is the WJTS News. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Joey Rehl reporting. The Jasper Police Department is requesting the public's help in locating a semi-trailer missing a set of dually tires. Yesterday, between 4 and 4:45 p.m., an unknown semi-trailer lost a set of dually tires that crashed into the building at 1090 Newton Street. The police department is wanting anyone who witnessed this crash near the intersection of 11th and Newton Street to please contact the department with that information. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Jasper Police at 812-482-2255 or the anonymous tip line at 812-481-COPS. Following a year of successful actions against robocallers, Attorney General Todd Rokita said Friday he will continue his aggressive leadership in protecting Hoosiers from such annoying and illegal interruptions. In October, Attorney General Rokita filed a first-of-its-kind lawsuit against an Indiana company that allegedly acted as a gateway into the United States for robocallers in India, the Philippines, and Singapore. The robocallers allegedly made more than 5 million phone calls to Hoosiers and hundreds of millions of calls to other states. Back in August, Attorney General Rokita, as part of a coordinated multi-state action, called on the FCC to shorten the deadline for small telephone companies to use anti-robocall ID technology. In November, the FCC followed the recommendation and shortened the deadline. Back in March, Attorney General Rokita, in another coordinated multi-state action, stopped a massive telefunding operation that bombarded Hoosiers with more than 12 million deceptive charitable fundraising calls. ACS and related defendants agreed to settle charges that they duped generous Americans into donating to charities that failed to provide services they promised. In February, Attorney General Rokita's office co-authored a winning brief in the case Linenbaum v. Realge, in which a federal appeals court ensured Hoosiers were protected by federal telephone privacy laws that a district court had ruled unenforceable from 2015 to 2020. Further, Attorney General Rokita revolutionized his office's investigations by working with telecommunications industry and implementing new technologies. These include U-Mail, robocall tracking software, and a ZipDX program for filtering, sorting, and drilling down into data collected through the FCC's robocall mitigation database. Partnerships with other states and federal agencies for joint investigations and enforcement actions have proven steadily productive. Attorney General Rokita added, now consumer complaints can lead to the prosecution of millions of violations. Throughout 2021, Attorney General Rokita has continued Indiana's role as a leader in telephone privacy. This includes coordinating a monthly call on private issues with all 50 states, different federal agencies, and several international agencies. Working with industry partners, Attorney General Rokita is also actively pursuing ways to stop robotexts before they become a bigger problem. Attorney General Rokita offers the following tips to avoid scams and unwanted calls. Be wary of callers who specifically ask for you to pay by gift card, wire transfer, or cryptocurrency. For example, the IRS does not accept iTunes gift cards. Look out for pre-recorded calls from imposters posing as government agencies. Typically, neither the IRS nor the Social Security Administration make phone calls to individuals. If you suspect fraudulent activity, immediately terminate the communication and do not provide any personal information. You can also contact the Consumer Protection Division at 1-888-834-9969 or do not call at atg.in.gov. You can also add your number to the Indiana Do Not Call list at indonotcall.org. Or you can file a do not call or text complaint. You can find out more information on our website, WJTS.tv. To keep children safe from possible predators, State Representative Shane Lindauer authored legislation to prohibit registered sex offenders from working within 1,000 feet of a school property, a public park, or a licensed daycare. Lindauer said these dangerous criminals are already not allowed to live near these properties, so it makes sense to extend their restriction to their place of employment. If passed, sex offenders would also be prohibited to work within 1 mile of the residence of the victim of the offender. If passed into law, the penalty for a violation would be a level 6 felony, which is punishable by up to 30 months in prison. House Bill 1227 is assigned to the House Courts and Criminal Code Committee for consideration. To learn more and watch legislative proceedings, you can visit iga.in.gov. Local people, churches, businesses, and organizations continue to reach out a helping hand to the citizens of Kentucky affected by the Quad State tornado in early December. 2 tornadoes touched down in Muhlenberg County, with one traveling 17 miles across Bremen, Kentucky. A group of DuBois County citizens are organizing a fundraising effort for the residents of Bremen. If you would like to make a contribution, you are asked to contact DuBois County residents Lugene Merkel at 812-309-3316 or Judy Nino at 812-631-9009. Checks made out to Bremen Community Tornado Relief Fund will go directly to citizens of Bremen. Checks made out to MCLTRDRC will go to residents throughout Muhlenberg County in Kentucky. Bremen Community Tornado Relief checks can be mailed at P.O. Box 334, Bremen, Kentucky 42325. Indiana lawmakers return to the State House for the 2022 legislative session. In today's Messmer Report, he talks about the caucus agenda.
Hello, this is State Senator Mark Messmer with this week's Messmer Report. This week, I return to the State House for the beginning of the 2022 legislative session. Over the next 10 weeks, Indiana lawmakers, myself included, will be working to pass legislation that moves our state in the right direction. While we'll look at a number of different issues, Senate Republicans are prioritizing the following 3 items. First, current Indiana law provides for an automatic taxpayer refund when state revenues hit high levels. When Indiana closed out fiscal year 2021, Indiana's automatic taxpayer refund was triggered, which will send $545 million back to hardworking Hoosier taxpayers and $545 million to the state pension obligations. Senate Bill 1 would make adjustments to the current statutes, so approximately 900,000 additional Hoosiers would be eligible for the state's taxpayer refund. Second, under Indiana law, school funding in the fall semester each year is determined based on the number of students enrolled in the school district on a count day, which fell on September 17th last year. State law also dictates that schools receive 85% of the regular foundation amount for students who receive at least half of their education virtually. Due to quarantine rules and the spread of COVID-19 in the fall, many schools were set to receive less funding than anticipated due to quarantine students having to learn virtually. Senate Bill 2 would ensure the schools receive full funding for the children who were considered virtual students during the fall of 2021 because they had to quarantine at the start of the school year. And third, legislative leaders, in conjunction with the governor, previously identified several remaining issues currently addressed by executive orders that need to be addressed through legislation so the public health emergency can be ended in Indiana without causing undue harm to Hoosiers. Senate Bill 3 would ensure Indiana can continue to receive the same federal funding for SNAP and Medicaid and maintain the state's ability to hold voluntary community vaccination clinics. These are by no means the only topics we'll be looking into this session. I encourage you to stay up to date on these and other bills by visiting iga.in.gov. As always, feel free to contact my office directly with your questions and concerns by email at senator.messmer@iga.in.gov or by phone at 800-382-9467. This has been State Senator Mark Messmer with this week's Messmer Report.
As always, feel free to contact State Senator Messmer's office directly with your questions and concerns by email at senator.messmer@iga.in.gov or by phone at 800-382-9467. Stay tuned. WJTS News will be right back with a check of weather, and then Kurt Guxell will have a look at sports.